Alright folks, welcome back. This is Balatro every day, and today we've got another case of the missing Molt Jokers. If you want to investigate this mystery yourself, you can get the seed from the video description, and when you're ready, let's go Gold Stake Ghost deck. First boss, play 5 cards, skip tags, uninteresting. Alright, 3 clubs, let's go for the flush. How about Ace High Flush? Easy one shot for the first round. Okay, usually we take the Buffoon pack in the first shot, but I think there's some consideration for taking the Drunkard. Hear me out. So you might be thinking, okay, Drunkard as an Eternal, that's not something that's going to give me points in the end game, or maybe sometimes you can use the extra discard to help draw a stronger hand in the end game, a stronger one-shot hand. But generally speaking, okay, the Eternal Drunkard, that's not going to be a lot of points later. So maybe instead of locking into this Eternal, maybe I want to keep my Joker slots available for potentially something else. Even as a foil, later on, once we start leveling up our hands, the extra 50 chips is not going to matter a whole lot. If you have leveled up, let's say, pairs, and you have 200 chips, then another 50 chips is not a whole lot. But right now, maybe you know from experience in the first couple rounds, we are used to playing these 5-card hands, going for straights and flushes, usually flushes. Sometimes getting 2 flushes per round is kind of difficult. But I think about if I do get some kind of Molt Joker to go with this foil, so generic 50 chips, I can apply that to any hand. If I also find some kind of Molt Joker, then my pairs and my high card and my lower ranking hands score similar amount of points to my 5-card hands. So instead of failing to draw a flush, I can just play multiple pairs. That's kind of the idea. So I think most foils I take in the first shop or in the early rounds, even if it is Eternal. And the benefit of having the Drunkard extra discard, we can, in the short term, use that extra discard to set up better hands. I think this is a great pickup here. I'm not even going to look inside the Buffoon pack. There are definitely better things that we could get. We could get a Molt Joker from the Buffoon pack, but there's also a pretty high chance that we get either rentals or perishables. With the Hex on the Ghost deck, because this is Eternal, then whatever Joker we find next, then we can always Hex it. Go next. Alright. So here, because we do have the foil, I should be able to one-shot, and if I one-shot instead of playing 2 hands, that also generates an extra $1 for me. Let's go maybe hearts, maybe hold on to both queens. Try again for the hearts. This might win. I guess we'll find out. My thought process is usually the flush is around 70, sometimes 75 chips. And that's like around 30 or 300 points. And so if I add an extra 50 chips, that's more than 50% more. So 50% more than 300, of course, is 450. Okay, there's a red seal is something that's not usually relevant on Gold Stake. We could take a Spectral pack. It is a jumbo, so it's slightly more expensive, but we get to see 4 cards. Not only do we get to see 4 cards, but we get to see 4 cards that are different from the Hex, and also the Deja Vu is not going to show up in here. So we have better chance of getting things like Immolate or other seals that we care about more. Could be Gold Seal, could be Blue Seal. I think Spectral packs are important enough we almost never pass. You gotta look. Okay, probably I'd take the Wraith here. It only costs me $2 we get a rare Joker, and then we can build around whatever rare Joker. Some considerations with the Wraith, if you have more money in the bank, it's harder to take the Wraith. I don't know if I would spend $20 on a random rare. Later on in the run, once you establish what it is, the thing that you're trying to do, then if you take a random rare, the rare is not likely to fit into what you're already doing. But if we take a random rare early, we can always build around that. So if I get the straights Joker, if it's the order, I can always build around it, if that wasn't already something that I wanted to do. If the Wraith wasn't here, I think you don't onk the Eternal Drunkard. The one foil I always take, but maybe two foils you probably shouldn't take. I think there is some consideration for taking the Familiar. If the Wraith wasn't here, I would just take the Familiar. So what I'm looking for are lucky cards and gold cards, but sometimes a random glass card could be useful much later on. Let's take the Wraith. That's a pretty good hit. And we can make it polychrome right away. Alright, so now that I have Burn Joker, my plan is to level up my pairs. So I can discard this pair, and the plan is to play a flush. Maybe. One more time for diamonds. There we go. So with the foil, the flush is about 500 points and then now 50% more. Should be about 700, maybe 750. All right. Could be a purple seal as a value generator. Maybe I don't take a Hierophant here. Maybe I don't take an Arcana pack. And then go next. Sure. I think there's some consideration for taking the top-up tag. 2 random commons. Commons which aren't perishable and aren't rentals and aren't eternal. But maybe if I have... I think the Jokers that I have right now are strong enough where I can survive without taking the top-up tag. And maybe I don't want to skip and miss out on the Burn Joker value here. I think the top-up tag could be good, but I know that I don't need it. And if I don't need it, then let's not take the risk of skipping. Alright, let's try a Hearts Flush. Before we do the Hearts Flush, we could do Purple Jack. That way we discard a pair to the Burnt Joker. So I think right now the thing that I'm interested in doing is getting the flush still. So maybe we play this flush, which we know is like 700 points. And then could be another flush, or we could discard to find a pair. I think I'm going to sell the world for an extra $1 of interest. Alright. So now my pair is 4 molt. I think if we go one more pair level, my pairs are actually stronger than my flushes. So I don't need this Jupiter card. I'm just playing pairs now. And I think I don't take these center packs. I want to save my money for potentially some Joker in the shop. Maybe I can take the voucher. We'll see. Alright, so discard the pair of 3s. I can play the pair of 9s. I want to save a discard for the purple seal, maybe. The next pair wins. Doesn't matter if it's a pair of 2s. Okay, I did not get the purple seal, so that's it. And what was the boss? Oh yeah, face down cards. Okay, I could take a Mystic Summit, so that's a Molt Joker. Whether or not it's a good Molt Joker depends on what build you're trying to do. Maybe if you're doing pairs, it's not bad. So when you're doing pairs, you don't actually need your discards in order to draw your pairs, in order to set up your pairs. Really, we're just discarding to find our value generators like the purple seal, or, you know, could be gold seal or blue seal in the future. So Mystic Summit is great. We just use all of our discards and then we get the molt. Do we also want the discard? Do we also want the Hungman? I think this is something that I almost always want later, but I think in the short term I am valuing being able to snowball the interest, and so I'm just going to save my money and go next. Alright, I can discard a pair of 8s. If this is a 10 of spades, here's a face down card which is definitely not a 10. Mystic Summit means we win with any pair. I could play a pair without winning, without the molt from the Mystic Summit, and then try to draw the purple seal. I think that's maybe not something that I care about right now. Play the pair of nines. Great. So, you know, already 4,000 point one shot there in the next round. 3,000 points we can do. There is a jumbo spectral pack. Take a look. Okay, what's this, boss? Hearts are debuffed. Could go Ecto to get a negative Mystic Summit. So, interesting thing when you're playing pairs, the -1 hand size is relevant, but it doesn't hurt that much. The -1 hand size doesn't really stop you from drawing pairs. What it stops you from doing is it stops you from doing blue seals and gold seals as effectively. Maybe what I want to do could be purple seal since we have the drunkard, could be gold seal. I think between the two of those, I value maybe the gold seal a little bit higher. Or maybe because we have the extra discard, we want the purple seal. I don't know if it's super clear. Let's try the purple seal. Let's go purple queen, maybe. And then go next. I don't take the standard pack. Let's just save money for interest. Alright, so I do get the purple queen right away. Gives me a wheel. Okay. Alright. I don't need to draw the purple seal. I can just play the nines here. Oh. I guess... Sorry, I should have discarded to activate the Mystic Summit, but since we have the holographic, it doesn't matter. Now we have 19 bucks. Do we start opening Arcana packs? I think around 19 bucks is when I start opening Arcana packs. I want to stay above 15 bucks. Obviously, you want to stay above 25, but I think $15 as the minimum, maybe. The best possible hit would be a Hermit. Could be a Hermit here. 15 bucks. All right. Celestial packs, because we have Burnt Joker, Celestial packs don't matter. Loyalty card as a perishable, Wily Joker. I think I don't take anything from this shop. I want to save money for boosters and vouchers. How about we discard the pair of jacks? Judgment. Arrowhead is not likely to be very important. I can discard another purple for a tower. So that's another thing that's not likely to be super important. But maybe I hold on to it. Maybe. Anyway, there's a pair of sevens for 8,000 points, I guess. Okay, now we have money, so we should look inside the standard packs. Could be gold 4, could be gold seal 3. I think between the two of those, maybe... I guess they're both hearts, so the boss is going to debuff them anyway. I can take a gold seal and I can turn it into a rock. I like that idea. Could be a gold 5 here, could be a different rock. Holographic rock. I think as far as scoring is concerned, I don't need the rock. I probably take the 5 as a value generator. If we are playing pairs, we just take whatever gives us money. And then go next. Parking is eternal, so we can't take it. Alright. I could discard these 10s. Maybe keep the 8. I don't know if it really matters to do the arrowhead, but I do have a pair of 10s that I could do. World. Since we do have the arrowhead, that is interesting, and I might consider doing the world. We win in one hand, right? So I could use the world now. I could save it. I guess, what was the last thing we did? Oh, it's probably, oh, it's judgment. Yeah, maybe we go ahead and use the world now. I'm not gonna play a flush though, I'm just gonna play a pair. Right. Our pairs are level 8, so we have 9 molt. 2 jumbo packs. We can take the clearance sale first. This boss, we lose money. All right. Blue seal for sure. And then I don't need a lucky 2. Go next. All right. Pair the aces. Discard a jack. Maybe 2 jacks. Lovers shouldn't matter. The 3 we wanted to turn into a rock. And then what else? I guess I could draw the gold card here. That should be fine. Alright, now we're cooking. That's enough to one-shot the boss if we have the 2 spades. Okay, Arcana Buffoon Pack. We go Buffoon Pack first. Taking the gelato. Arcana Pack is only $3, so it takes us to 30. I could reroll first. I think I don't reroll. But now if I have temperance, I do reroll. Do we want to use the lovers or the spades, or is that something that we don't care about? I think I don't care about that. I will probably just take temperance here. And then go one more. So square joker we don't need to do because we already have so many chips from pair levels from the burnt joker. Burnt joker is already kind of like square joker, so I don't need square joker here. I could take a priestess instead of lovers. I guess maybe since we use temperance, there's a reason to not use the priestess right away in case we find a fool. $6 takes me down to 31. I'm okay with that. And I don't need to spend money on the rental. Let's go next. All right. Purple seal gives me an emperor, so we get slightly punished for not using the priestess. That's okay. We can still use it now. Okay, wheel. Ah, bummer. So now I have aces. I think I'm going to keep the kings because I want to use the Hierophant. So I can use the Hierophant on the kings. Okay. Jupiter, no. Celestial packs we don't need because we have the blue seal and the burnt joker. We could look inside a standard pack for more value generators. Could be a gold seal 10. Seems fine. And then spin the wheel again. Ah, bummer. I think I'm okay with a $6 reroll here. Bootstraps, that is okay. Molt, scaling molt, by the way. I think if I already have Mystic Summit and I have Burnt Joker for the pair levels, I think I don't need this Eternal Bootstraps. I think we could do better. So let's just go next. Discard a pair of queens. I'm looking for my gold seal 10. We can play If I play it without discarding, can I do it without winning? I think the answer is yes. And then we can discard purple. Sun, we don't care about. I can play these kings. Okay. Mime is okay with a gold card. It's pretty good with a blue seal, though no guarantees that we draw those. How about Buffoon pack first? Could be Card Shark. Card Shark is powerful, but maybe not necessary for us to do. We are mostly winning in just one hand. 2 perishables. So we take the Card Shark so we can sell it for $2. Maybe we care about this mime. Probably we look inside a standard pack. Gold 7, I think, is good enough if we're playing pairs. Maybe then you take the mime, also hold the Empress. A little more. Driver's license, not yet. So I don't really need the arrowhead here. I don't really need the chips. So maybe we sell the arrowhead. I guess the question is whether or not the mime is even useful. Maybe. If the mime doesn't do anything this round, probably I just sell it. Alright, so I got a gold seal. How about what if I play the pair? I should keep the 10, right? Maybe I should discard. I want to keep the 10 in case I draw the gold seal. Maybe that doesn't matter. I'm going to play this one knowing that it doesn't win. So that's like 10k. And then, actually we failed to draw a pair. That's kind of weird. Oh well. Alright, how about the pair of 7s we can discard? I actually don't need this king. Alright, purple I can discard. Maybe keep the 10 in case of the gold seal. Or if we draw the gold seal, I guess I could just play it as a high card. Since we got the driver's license, let's go Molt Jacks. I guess I could draw another 10. Alright. Temperance is 13. So sell the sun. Alright. This set of jacks wins. Because of the extra molt. The mime paid for its. I should have used the temperance so the mime would give me an extra planet card. What I was thinking is I use temperance second in case I find a fool, but I should have just let it give me 2 planet cards. I'll take the Hierophant for the driver's license. That's useful. Mega standard pack. We could take a glass 7 for the driver's license. I think I don't want to take a glass 7. I think I don't want to take things that just don't give me money. Though some consideration since we have higher level pairs with the Burnt Joker, maybe the glass card is more useful. We're just gonna skip. And before we go Arcana, I am gonna re-roll. Look for potentially more tarot cards. There's a Devil and a Stuntman. I think we don't need. Death card. So, alright, I can make a bonus 10. Gold Ace. And then maybe we have 5 5s. How many 7s do we have? We have 7 7s. I guess I can turn a 2 into a blue seal. And then go next. Alright, now this mime is looking much better. I thought the mine was going to be kind of bad, but it's looking less bad now. Alright, I can discard the 10s. I can make some lucky, could be queens. And then Hermie. Where are we at with the driver's license? Not quite there yet. I could discard more. What would I be digging for? I'd be looking for my gold cards specifically. Let's try this pair. Great. And I think the next one wins. So we play the 10. And then finish with the queens. And then I think even without the plus 20 there, I think that wins. Alright. Alright, there's an Emperor. Death, Empress. So we go Arcana, try to use this Death card. Okay. Base cards, we can make molt cards. I could make more blue, I could make more purple. Probably we make more blue since we have this Mime. Could take Hermie for 20 bucks. I think I'd rather just hang him. So 4 I can turn into an ace. 6s and 9s we can hang him. Probably. Sure. Driver's license online. I guess I could use lovers just to be safe. Nah, it's fine. So now, I guess I could hold on to the lovers while we're re-rolling. Could take the vampire. I guess if I have driver's license, I don't need a vampire. Mars golden ticket? No. Chariot's good with the Mime. Alright, lovers I don't care about. Let's go one more. Could be a justice card. We said the glass cards probably don't matter, but maybe they do. Maybe we can make them matter. Alright, so pair of 10s we can discard. Pair of 8s, I could play it right now. I guess if I have the driver's license, the expectation is that I can win in just one pair. I could have held the discard to try to get the blue seals, or sorry, purple seals. I think I actually... No, this is fine. So... Steel card, I don't think it really matters what we put it on. We could put it on an 8. Glass card, maybe you would like to use it on a face card. I could turn a lucky queen into a glass card. Maybe. So, steel, glass queen, play the 8s. That's it, I guess. This boss, face down after played. So, liquidation means I get a discounted standard pack. There's another blue seal. I have 3 blue seals. Do I want another blue seal? Probably. Since we have the Mime. Alright, Habsies we don't want. Idle we usually don't want. Fool for Mercury is awkward, admittedly. Maybe I take a tower and see what happens. So, could be another death card. Could be death for purple. Could be... death for gold seal, probably purple. So maybe 2 becomes a rock. And then Fool for death. Try to get another blue seal. Alright. I could use death now on purple. That's not necessarily wrong to do that. Alright, so now discard a queen and a pair of 9s. Tower. So Empress I don't want to use. I want to try to get another death card. Priestess I probably don't care about. The steel maybe is not super important for us to do. Alright. I could stone a 3. Let's try this. Let's just sell everything. Play the jacks. Okay, and then now looking for an Arcana pack. No Arcana pack. Then probably I use the Mercury cards. There's another blue seal. At what point do we stop taking blue seals? Probably I don't need that one. If I already had the other 4. Could take a Chad. Are we ready to get rid of Mystic Summit? Burnt Joker we might be able to drop, but it is perishable. Or sorry, not perishable, but polychrome, which is kind of nice. The benefit of taking the Chad is then my glass card is very strong, but then I'm kind of weak if I don't get a glass card. So I think with all the purple seals, the Chad is probably worth it. And the Mystic Summit maybe doesn't matter that much. That's my guess. Alright. Star Rebate. Go next. So discard a queen. Alright, so now the expectation is without the Mystic Summit, I need multiple hands to win. So I can play this pair without winning. And then the next pair wins. I don't need this blue seal. I probably want to use the chariot somehow. Alright, so how about a gold seal 10? That won't win. And what if we... I think I'm strong enough. I'm considering making purple into steel. Maybe I just go steel king. Is fine. And then play the queens here. What did we have a glass queen, so I want to make more queens. Okay, let's check for a fool. Standard pack has a purple 3. Is it too late for a purple 3? I think it's too late for a purple 3. Okay, go one more. Golden ticket is good with the Chad, but I have to give up the mime, which I don't want to do. There's the photograph. Beans. Well, suppose we could do that. Instead of the burnt joker. Fine. Face down after played. So now it doesn't matter my first discard. Lovers I don't care about. Let's play the gold seal. Pair kings. Level 29 pairs. This boss, no repeat hand types. I guess. Standard pack, I'm mostly looking for glass cards. Could be a red seal that we want. Maybe blue, gold. No. Priestess. Also no. I guess the celestial pack's only $2. Maybe we should look inside. There's another priestess. Alright. Getting expensive here, so let's go Emperor. $5 Temperance. Cool. Alright. What if we hit him with a rock? Discard purple. World we don't care about. The steel is not necessary. I can discard the steel. Right? Lucky Queen, maybe it's not super important to me. I guess one thing we could do, we could just play a couple hands. And then discard purple here. Alright, so I got the Hungman, I got the Death card. Probably you want to use Death on glass at this point, since it's anti-7, though I won't be able to do it here, obviously. Maybe that's okay. So, play the jacks. I guess instead of copying glass, we could copy steel since we have this mime. We'll see. We got 2 Arcana packs. There's a Fool. Alright, I think I'm gonna start with the glass ones. And then also make a steel queen. And then before we go Arcana 2, we can reroll for more tarot cards. Power doesn't really do it. Okay. Could be Hermie, could be a Hungman, could be Strength on the 10s, and then they become face cards. Could be I turn the 10 into a rock. I think I like just hang him here. Maybe 4 and 10 we hang him. And then go next. So now purple we can discard. Could be discard first. Get a Hermie? Sure. Strength. How do I want to use my strength? I want to use my strength, turn jacks into queens. I'm gonna play the rock for the money. Looking for some jacks here. Is it worth holding the strength card? Probably not. So we just sell it and then make room for the blue seals. What was the last thing we did? Hermit, okay. Alright. Standard pack, I don't need the jack. Before we go spectral, trading card is too late, we don't have room. I guess the spectral pack could have ectoplasm. Grim doesn't matter. Alright, we could light them up, I guess. We would lose a glass card, potentially. Almost certainly. How do I feel about that? At this point, sure, why not? That means I can draw my other glass card guaranteed. I can spend $11 on a reroll, but I don't think I'm going to spend $12. I think I just go next. Hierophant if I need to reload the driver's license, but it seems to be fine. Alright, no repeat hand types. Could play 3 of a kind, I guess. Anyway. High card ace. Bonus aces. So I do want to try to get the face cards, I guess. Maybe I don't keep the king. Where are all these queens? Okay, so we got the queens. This doesn't do anything. But I can discard purple for a moon. Play the rock. Yum. Level 36 pairs. Could have been higher if we kept the burnt joker, but we say we don't need the burnt joker. Gold seal, rock, jacks we don't need. Not a lot of spectral cards in the shop on the ghost deck. There were a few. There was like Grim one time, but not a lot. This boss forced a card to be selected. That's something that we don't care about. Okay. Chariot's good. Fool for Mercury. This might be a situation where we go Chariot twice. Or a death card. So I could use death with the Fool to try to copy glass. I could just go justice and then Fool for justice, and then we get more glass cards that way. Is probably something that I want to do. Is like kind of the same. Go next. Alright. I could possibly play the 10s with the gold seal. I could just play high card with the gold seal. Okay. Got a lot of purples in the deck. Probably we have few enough cards that we can touch them all. I have only like 3 queens that are not already glass. I could go steel jack before we discard here. Okay, so that's a queen, which maybe I'm avoiding playing. Alright. So there's the Lucky Queen, which maybe now I'm okay with turning it into glass. Though the different queen would be better. Alright, so if I got these queens and I got the steel card in hand, I can play the gold seal. Yes. Alright, no Arcana packs, so we'll use the Mercury cards. Check for more glass. Could be a steel 5. Sure. Because we have that mime. Could be a steel 7. Burger. More hands is more points. Cryptid. Okay. Go next. So Cryptid we could use now. Probably we use Cryptid on the boss, I would think. There's purple we can discard. What if I do this? What if I just play the pair of 7s? Okay, so I can win with a pair of 2s if we want. I play the pair of kings. Getting somewhat lazy with the discards, to be honest. Given that we're so close to the end, we can play the pair of kings. Save Cryptid for the boss. I guess against the boss forced a card to be selected is a little bit awkward. I really want a death card. Alright, so Arcana we can reroll first. Go more. Sun, there's Ectoplasm. Not likely that we find something interesting, but we could take Ectoplasm. Fool from Mars could be Emperor, could be a hung man. Almost always we just hang him. One consequence to holding Cryptid is now Cryptid can't show up if I keep re-rolling. Oh well. Supernova. How many pairs we got? 26 pairs is not a lot of pairs. They look Ouija. Maybe. Empress and Cartomancer, and that's it. Go next. Alright. 2 we don't need. 5 we don't need. 6 we don't need. I have the queen. Sure. Play the 4 of a kind. All right. Not exactly just like we drew it up. Yeah, of course, photograph in the chat is very powerful. Combined, by the way, it's like times 16, right? Is that true? Or is it a times 8? So I guess base card by itself is going to trigger 1 time, and then chat is 3 times total. So photograph 3 times is, that's 8. If you have a glass card, then that's times 16. So it's kind of, kind of, it is only times 8 on its own, but I secretly think about it as times 16 all of the time because of that extra glass card. Wait, no, there's way more than that. Because the glass card is going to be also 3 times. So it's more like 64 times. If you have a red seal, that's when it's 16. So red seal is one more photo. So then that's 16 without glass. Anyway. Times 64 or whatever. So, you know, if you have like just 2 molt times 64, then you're already up to 100 molt. Is kind of a lot. If you don't have the glass, if you just have a red seal and it's times 16, well then maybe 2 molt up to 32 molt is maybe not that much. Maybe 4 molt times 16 up to 64 is kind of good enough. So I guess the question is like, okay, at what pair level is this actually like a meaningful combination? Because it does take up 2 joker slots to do the Chad and the photograph. The Chad you always take because you can re-trigger these gold seals, but when do we do the combo is when either you have a red seal, and if you have a red seal in the deck, you're not necessarily drawing the red seal on every hand, or you have a glass card and you're, again, not necessarily drawing the glass card on every hand, nor do you want to play the glass card on every hand because it'll break eventually. So just think of this as a times 8. Then I would say probably you want to have at least 10 molt. So level 9 pairs. I think level 9 pairs is something that's fairly reasonable in a normal run without a blue seal. So no blue seal, you can get to around level 10, but it takes the whole run to see enough celestial packs in order to get to level 10. But we were able to start out with the burnt joker. We were able to get the blue seals eventually, but it was mostly the burnt joker in the early game. And so just kind of recognizing as far as like early molt survivability, mostly coming from the burnt joker, and then also having that mystic summit. Mystic summit, which is plus 15, is not very exciting, but it's good enough. Then when we make it holographic, it's plus 25 total, which is going to be worse than if you had a green joker or a red card or a bust, but again, it's good enough. You know, sometimes you have 2 jokers, one's plus 15 and the other one's plus 10 or something like that, or you have half joker that gives you plus 20. That's good enough. You don't necessarily need your plus molt jokers to be scaling if you have some way of leveling up your hands, and so we were able to level up our hands with the burnt joker, right? And then of course Chad you always take, photograph you don't always need, and then when you find, if you have the Chad already, you have the opportunity to draw the photograph later. Mime, even as a rental, is sort of a speculative pick. Of course, if you get the blue seals, you wish you had a Mime. Of course, if you have 2 gold cards in hand, you wish you had a Mime, but if you only have 1 gold card in your hand or only 2 gold cards in your deck, maybe the Mime is not doing that much necessarily. And then as a rental, maybe you can't necessarily justify it, but definitely once you hit the blue seal, probably worth it to do the Mime. The biggest thing, of course, for this particular run was the Drunkard, and once again demonstrating here, getting those early chips then allowed us to play pairs. And it was already with the burnt joker, once we had level 4 pairs, once we got to round 4 or whatever it was, maybe round 5, already my pairs are scoring the same as my flushes, and that was even without the Mystic Summit. And then of course once you have the Mystic Summit, then you know, you're off to the races. So I highly recommend not taking every time, but at least considering, at least thinking a little bit longer about eternal foils as a way of stabilizing the early game, and then helps you, if you're stable, you can be more greedy, right? If I know I'm okay on scoring, I can be really greedy about where I spend my money and trying to pick up more value generators from Arcana packs and standard packs instead of re-rolling for jokers. Stuff like that. Alright, folks. Take care.